I have been asked a few times in the past to describe how I create these duplicity pictures that I've posted on Facebook. So these are pictures where the same person is on the same image multiple times in different poses, basically suggesting that there is more than one of those persons exist at the same time. In order to do this, I'm going to show you some simple techniques which doesn't involve working in Photoshop. This is something that you can do with a simple web browser and an online photo editing software. What you would need is you need a tripod, preferably, to create some stable shots, and you need to create pictures on your camera in manual mode. So taking the pictures is very important, so I'm going to show you how I do it. Because, as you will see later on, the technique I'm using is basically I'm creating two pictures where the background and the whole setting is identical. The only thing that moves on the picture or different in between the pictures are the people. So maybe there's two standing people and there's one sitting people, or the other way around. So it is important that the background is the same, and the only way to do it is to shoot pictures in a manual mode. So you have to set your aperture and your exposure time manually to ensure that the two pictures are going to be identical in terms of lightness and all the basic features. So here's my old SLR, and what I'm usually using is I have the mode turned to program, and what I'm doing is I'm pressing the shuttle halfway through, and that basically the computer inside works out the optimal exposure and aperture time for the setting. So it's 1/40th a second and 5.0. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn into manual, the M, and then, so this is how you change your aperture, and this is how you change your exposure time. It's all done by pressing this button here, and turning this dial over here. So now you have set the identical settings as the computer worked it out. So basically now you can start shooting. Of course you are doing that on a tripod and pointing the camera to the settings that you want to shoot. If you have one of these are the remote trigger for my Canon camera. What you can do is you can set this one to shoot, to take a picture every 20 seconds. So what you can do is you can turn this on. This will fire a trigger signal every 20 seconds, and basically from the tripod it will just take an image every 20 seconds, and then you can just move around in the settings and then take a couple of pictures, maybe 10 or 20, and then you can decide which 2 or 3 are going to be the best for your picture. So this is just an easy way. You don't have to run back and forth between the camera and your position and press the shutter button all the time. So now that we have taken the pictures, let's see how the editing is done. What I'm going to show you is a process which I'm using a free online photo editor, which is called Pixlr. It's at pixlr.com, and that gives you some simple or not so simple editing tools. But what it does, it can handle multiple layers, and this is what we need for this process. So this is the website, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Open Photo Editor, and this one I'm going to say Open Image from the computer. So I have 2 of the images here that I want to process, or that I want to merge as a duplicity picture. So I'm going to open one of them. So now you can see that the first picture has appeared, where it's basically you can see two people sitting on the bench. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another picture as a new layer. So I'm going to go to the menu, click on layer, and then click on open image as a layer. And then you select the second picture. So now you see it's exactly the same setting, the same bench, but now it's a different setting. So if I'm going to turn the layers on and off, you would see the difference between the two images. It's basically, I must have taken this from a tripod, so the bench doesn't move, obviously the tree doesn't move, the leaves move a little bit because it was there was a small breeze or something, but we can treat the image as identical apart from, you know, the people on the picture. So I'm going to turn the layers back on, and what I'm going to do is basically from this top image erase away the parts where you would see the other two people on the underlying layer. So I'm going to pick up the eraser tool, which is right here on the toolbar, and then you have some brush size and opacity. You can use the maybe I will increase the brush size to 200, and then so I know that on my other picture I'm sitting somewhere here, so I start to erase small portions of the top image, and then basically that will reveal the other image underneath it. And because the background and everything is the same, it just appears that, you know, I mean, these two figures are coming out of nowhere. And if I'm not too precise with my eraser, basically I'm going to reveal the same detail on the underlying image as you would see on the top image. So with just a few minutes you can see the details coming out. And then again you can click on the in the layer control, you can turn the top layer on and off, and then you can see if you have erased enough. So for example here you will see that I haven't erased enough from the top image, and my shadow has disappeared, which, you know, that could be okay, but I mean, if you're looking at it, it might just look weird that you have somebody on the image but it doesn't have a shadow. So okay, I'm going to just turn the top image on, and I'm going to erase this part below the bench just to reveal the shadow. And maybe there is a bit more to do here. But now if you again try going to turn on and off the top layer, you would see that you know, the two people in the middle are, you know, are not moving, or the content around them is not moving. So you have erased enough, and well, that's all you need to do. So you have your own duplicity picture now. So part of the top image is erased, and then the bottom image is showing through, and all you have to do is click on File and Save, and then you say, well, you have to select the format. JPEG is fine. Maybe you can increase the quality to 90, and then provide a file name. Okay, it's working. So I say test image, and I'm going to say OK. So now you should ask me where to save it. I'm going to put it on, I don't know, maybe I will just put it onto my desktop. And that's it. You have created your own image. And as you can see from the example, it's very important that you have taken the image from some steady position, and the background doesn't change, because once you start erasing stuff, and if you have a changing background, then it would be rather difficult to to merge the two images together, so the transition between one image and the other is seamless. And also note here is that there are some clear boundaries between the two images. So I mean, you know, people on the one image doesn't touch people on the other image. Again, you know, erasing of parts could be difficult if you have some overlapping areas. But it only takes a couple of minutes. Maybe it takes a few more time in preparation, but basically you have a duplicity image, and you don't need any special software, just some online editing tools.